So, what do you think of Quebec's religious neutrality law?
So I feel like it's not really neutral, right? Because Christian symbols will still be allowed. Like, it's not like Christian women are going to be facing any type of offense based off this law. Mostly Muslim women, Sikh men, visible minorities who have like articles of faith, right, that clearly represent their faith are going to be most targeted by it, right? And it's part of their religion, right? It's not, and this type of law is just going to be infringing on their human rights, given like the Constitution.
And what are you doing to fight that law, to change that stigma for Muslim women?
Mama.
It's okay.
So, what I usually do is, so I work with two organizations, the Canadian Council of Muslim Women and Muslim Girl, right? Both are creating programs to tackle this fear-based mongering about Muslim women and the hijab. So what we do is we usually go out and have interviews with major news stations. So there's Sabrina Nags, there's Alia Hogbin, right? My friend Alia Youssef, right? She has a project called the Sisters Project, and she's gone around all of Canada documenting various types of Muslim women, some without hijab, some with hijab. And they are within the political spectrum and outside within community organizing, such as teachers and professors as well, right? So people are using arts and exhibiting their work to discuss these type of malicious stereotypes that affect us, because what happens is that if they do have these types of laws put in place, it's just going to isolate Muslim women further. Like, we won't be able to integrate within society or within the workplace without compromising our religion. So yeah.
And how has your art specifically contributed to this fight, this stigma?
So basically my art talks about niqabi women and hijabi women. And we discuss issues like agency and reclaiming one's autonomy. Because even if we don't wear the hijab or the niqab, because we are still brown or black, because we are female, we still face stereotypes and barriers to participate in society. So for me, my art specifically tackles these issues by creating graphic designs that I submit to competitions, right, and to other magazines such as Refinery 29 and TEDx, because it gives me a bigger platform to discuss these issues. So that's what I do.
And in regards to Quebec, are you targeting the Premier's move? Are you trying to change people's minds through your art, like in Toronto over here?
So I have had some exhibitions here in Toronto, but this was before the Quebec ban. It was right after Stephen Harper made the comment about how he wouldn't let his daughter wear the hijab or the niqab, and people were rallying saying that it's never a man's decision to tell what a woman should wear or what she should not wear, because the whole point of a feminist perspective and an intersectional lens is that women can choose, right? It's not that we're brainwashed or anything like that. We do have a mind of our own, but we want to wear certain articles of faith, right? And that's not a man's place to tell us how we should dress. They have no authority over dictating what we should do with our bodies.
What about the argument of safety? When people say that we want to make sure someone's face is visible in a public space because it provides more safety. What do you think?
So I go to university and I have exams, right? And I take tests, right? And they have similar concerns about, like, how do you know if this person is the right person doing the test? What if it's an imposter just wearing a niqab, right? So to prevent these mishaps, we always have our ID cards on us, right? And we also take off our niqab to be inspected, right? Like when you first go get your ID card at Ryerson University, you have to take a picture, right? So I asked for female accommodation, right? So female officers, they are the ones who check me, right? And I'm totally comfortable with that. Even when I go to the airport, right, I take off my niqab so that they can, validate my identity.
Yeah.
So similar aspects can be applied to Quebec as well, right? If they already have a security team, right, it's not going to be that difficult for someone to take off their hijab or take off their niqab to be inspected, right? No one's carrying a bomb under their hijab. That's just how TV and Hollywood has romanticized this idea of every woman. Just recently there was a Netflix show and they had the mastermind behind the terror attack was a Muslim woman, right, who was playing the victim, right? And it just goes to show that these type of stereotypes seriously harm Muslim women in real life, right? Because we aren't going out planning terrorist attacks or anything like that. We're just trying to live a normal life, but everyone's always thinking of security, this and that, when it's just like an Islamophobic attack on Muslim women. Right? It's not something, like, obviously we can take off our hijab or niqab, but that's an infringement of our human rights, right? So, yeah.
And if Quebec's premier was sitting right here, what would you tell him?
I would tell him because he's a man, right? And because he probably hasn't interacted a lot with Muslim women within like the political spectrum or outside, he should realize that he has very little knowledge about how Muslim women really integrate into society, right? And for him to experience that, he has to go out and actually talk to Muslim women instead of basing his beliefs on something that's read in the news or serialized in like TV shows. Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.